Wir sitzen hier mit den Gewinnern aus der Profisparte. Der Film Do Not Come to Europe. Congratulations for your victory, for your glorious victory. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Pontus Joneström, and I'm from Stockholm, Sweden. And I'm a filmmaker, documentary filmmaker.
Obviously, I think.
And I'm Hanna, Pousette. I'm from Gothenburg, so we're like really, what do you call it? Rivals?
There's a constant battle between those two cities. So,
East,
there is.
East Coast, West Coast. Big
wow.
difference. Yeah.
Stockholm represent.
There was a third person on your team when you made the film. Can you say something about her? She's not here today, so.
Yeah, her name is Minna Lundberg, and she's studying right now, so she couldn't be here. But she's an amazing filmmaker as well. Okay,
so now you already talked about some fights between the cities. So was there a lot of arguments making the film? You made it, the three of you. Mm-hmm. You did everything together, or how did you do it?
Well, we did everything together, and we shared everything from sound and filming and editing and everything and planning. And of course, we have different kind of qualities. Pontus is like the technical guy, and Minna is very good with sounds, and I don't know what I am.
What are you good at?
What am I good at? I don't know.
You're good at the ideas.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
very
but
good.
I think we complemented each other very well, and it was a very good mix. We actually didn't argue much at all. It was a very good.
Yeah. I think.
Do you agree?
I mean, it depends on what you mean by argue.
Yeah.
We didn't fight at all, but we had a lot of moments where we everybody had their idea of what the movie or parts of the movie should be, and we had to always question our motives to tell it to the other persons in the group, and it was But that only made the movie.
Yeah, and I think
what it is,
that really made the movie. All the arguments that we've had and the confusing times we've had, and
Okay. Was it the first time for you collaborating in such a big team, like three people doing everything together, or did you do that before with each other also?
We had a smaller project before together to sort of try the group, but that was in Sweden for the Red Cross, smaller film, 2 minutes long.
When you received your award, you said you don't know what the film is about. Was that serious, or did you just not want to say anything on stage?
It is some kind of seriousness in it, because when people ask me what the movie is about, I can say that it's about refugees from Congo, but I think it's about so much more, and it depends on who's watching it. I think that's the difference, because if we've shown it to refugees both from Syria and from Mali and Senegal and so on, and I think the movie represents different things depending on who's watching it. If you're a Swedish person or a German person watching it, you see it in a different way, or if you're an Italian person, you see it in a different way. So I think it's very hard to say what the movie is actually about, because it's just asking a lot of questions, and it doesn't really have this certain point that is pointing out, and I think it is very spread in that way, and I think that's why I have a really hard time actually explaining what it's about.
How did you develop the idea for the film? Is there any personal reference to refugees? You mentioned that you worked for the Red Cross before. Is this the point where you wanted to work on that topic, or how did you decide it?
Yeah, absolutely. That project was also about refugees. So it was to go to a refugee camp in Sweden and meet someone who had worked for the Red Cross, and also someone who lived at the refugee camp. And we actually met a person who did both those things. Mm-hmm. He had been living at the camp, but now he worked as a volunteer. And so we did a movie about that, and I think we realized that that topic is something for this group. But then it wasn't until maybe 3 weeks into the trip in Uganda that we really decided that we wanted to do it, and how to do it, because that's the most difficult thing, because this topic is so big and it's so much discussed and has been, and in so many different ways. So we weren't really sure if we could like contribute anything new to it. And finally, I think we felt that this is what we want to do, and maybe we can do it.
There's this really emotional moment in the film where you have to tell him, we cannot do anything for you right now. How did that feel for you in that moment? Was that spontaneous, the scene that we see on the film?
Well, it is really what happened. And I think for us, we interviewed 2 more guys who are also refugees, and I think for us it was kind of like when we discussed what we wanted to do with the movie, it was a lot about what have we experienced and how can we show this and how can we by any chance make this like we're going to a country like Uganda as privileged white people, and we go there and we film something and then we leave without giving them anything because we can't really help them in that way, in that sense that they need help. And how can we in any way like show what we went through there through our movie? And I think that's something that we really wanted to show, is that you can also make this movie and be like, we need to help and we need to make a difference, but in the end we're sitting on the other side of the camera, and we still, even though we've heard all of these stories that have, like, I don't know how many times we left an interview and felt like you don't want to do this anymore because it's so hard, and it was really breaking us down, I think. And I think we really wanted to show that we heard all of this, and I think everyone, it's reflecting on the societies because we know these stories. It's not something new to us, and this is something that we've heard for many, many years. It's not only like the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's been going on forever, and I think that's the biggest part of it, is that we hear them, and then in the end, we're still there. We want to make a change, but we can't. And why is that? We don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that picks up the feeling of the audience after the film. It was really, really quiet and nobody really knew what to say.
No.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Yeah. Good luck to your future projects. Thanks for being here in Leipzig.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.